How in the hell is everybody doing? Man Cave Sports back to discuss the Minnesota Vikings 28 to 22 loss to the Philadelphia Eagles on Sunday in a game that the Vikings had numerous chances to grab victory from the jaws of defeat and unfortunately came up short. A lot of stuff to discuss in regards to this game. I know some of you we texted as the game was going on, and I myself was beside myself at some of the things that took place on the field. First, I'll just start with you, Gary, because one of the biggest things for me was we made Jalen Hurts look like prime Tom Brady. What in the heck happened there?
God, it was terrible. I mean, guy starts out with a long bomb, and just like I felt right away, I'm like, this if this is how it's gonna go, we're in for a bad game. And that's how it went. He threw the ball whenever and wherever he needed to throw it. Hell, I think there was even a sack. He was on his way back down in that fourth quarter. He just threw the ball up, and Brown just running and grabbed it. I mean, just seemed like the Vikings were all out of sorts on that back end of the defense. They took a lot of advantage of one-on-ones. The middle of the field was wide open. Um, Devontae Smith killed us. I mean, AJ Brown. The run didn't seem to be a big deal, which yeah, maybe we sold out to stop the run, and that pass just took a licking because of it.
Yeah, no doubt. I saw about 4 hours ago, maybe five, KOC announced that Carson Wentz is starting on Thursday, short week this week. And I know there was some uh, not indecisiveness, but I think they were concerned about his health. Obviously, it sounds like JJ McCarthy is not ready. I know Gary a couple weeks ago, you kind of predicted the scenario that we're seeing play out right now. Steve, what do you think about the quarterback situation as the Vikings head into a crucial Thursday night football game?
Yeah, I think I think you got to play JJ. I know that, like we were talking about beforehand. We got to, the number one thing that we have to do this season is find out what we got at McCarthy. Is he going to be any good? It can take quarterbacks a year or two to get going, of playing time. We've seen it throughout NFL history, right? So we got to get this guy reps. He's got to be in there live. And, we'll just take what comes, the good, the bad, and the ugly. We got to know what that is so that this season, we know where we're going and what we're going to do. And, is there light at the end of the tunnel? And, there's enough there to say, yeah, let's keep going with them. Or, is it just that, hey, this kid's just they should have went and got Bo Nix or somebody, but or Drake May or somebody else like that, right? Like, there's all these quarterbacks and they, KOC and fell in love with him and I think it was either May or Nix, that they were in love with that they wanted to get. So, but Carson Wentz, he's gun shy. He's not pulling the trigger when he should. Um, he makes just some baffling decisions. Like either it's either there or it's not. Get rid of the ball. Or, some of these sacks he takes are just ridiculous. He tries to make plays, and his inaccuracy right now is killing us because even with the two picks, right? Put the two picks aside. If he can put the ball in a spot where Jefferson can get it, there's at least two big chunk plays. One of them probably would have been a touchdown because it's right down by the goal line, but he just missed Jefferson altogether. And then that play to Hawkinson, Hawkinson's got his guy beat by a full yard. All he has to do is just lob it to him, and that's a touchdown. And instead, you've got monster ass Hawkinson laying out like he's a freaking MLS goalie or something like that, full spread trying to get the ball. It's just ridiculous. It's just yeah, we got to get rid of this, trying to hang on to the season stuff and just play McCarthy. If this was the playoffs, if we were trying to get in somewhere, he'd be out there playing. So we got to
That's
play him and find out what's going on.
Yeah, I agree at this point because I know there's still plenty of season left, 11 games, but that 3-3 record in a tough NFC North it has me concerned. A very winnable game against the Eagles. But nice segue into my next question for Mr. Naughton. What in the hell happened on the TJ Hawkinson touchdown slash incompletion that I've seen talking heads and social media types argue about whether or not it was a catch? I know they're referencing Travis Kelce's touchdown from last week, but be naughty, what the hell happened there on that play?
Well, if you look at it as a book, that like how the rule is set. I mean, there was no doubt. It took me into watching it like 4 or 5 more times when they had the slow-mo from the different angles. I might have sold my firstborn saying that's a touchdown. Good thing I didn't. Sorry, Brianna, I love you. I was just like dead set. That's a touchdown. If that was Travis douchebag from the Chiefs, dude, that's there'd be no call from New York. But as I am wont to do, I can calm down and listen to reason. Right, Mr. Steve? Right?
Yeah, we'll go with that.
All right. Uh, the rule is the rule. When he did, that ball was on the ground when I saw all the different things, all the different angles. And when he got back up off the ground, if he held that ball, that's a touchdown. But that ball bounced out, and by rule that deal, that's not a touchdown. But New York called that in. All 4 refs out there that had views of it, they were all agreement in the touchdown. I know every scoring play is reviewed. I don't know. By rule, it was called correctly. It just was.
Okay.
Pissed me off though.
Yeah, and it seemed like they had other chances aside from that to win the game. Uh, Gary, talk about missed opportunities. I know, Steve, you alluded to some of them, but how about KOC's decision making as well? Because there were a couple of times in that game where I was like, what the hell is going on?
7 straight pass plays in the red zone, no rushes. I was just fuming at that. I'm screaming in my garage, run the damn ball. Why? And then how many times I see Scott in there over Mason was just unbelievable. You brought this guy in to be your back to share time, and he's now the lead back, and you're not even giving him time. It's astounding to me the mistakes that I felt. Yeah, the over the head, that was a disaster. Snap. The hold on Brandel for the touchdown to Naylor, disaster. That play is 1,000 times in the NFL a week. I don't understand how they decided that one was going to be the hold that Brandel got called for. It was really top heavy, but it wasn't that big of an egregious play in my opinion. The Jefferson, the Hawkinson, there's so many mistakes there. That lazy ball up the middle with that linebacker drop back for that interception. Carson's got to see that. You either feather that over the top or you just got to eat it. You can't decide to throw a ball like that. Just a lot of miscues, and it shows that the Vikings aren't really able to overcome those miscues. They don't have that type of team that, as much as I want to gripe about the defense, let's go back and look. I think the most points they've given up is 24, 27 points throughout the season. Hell, you hold a team into 24 points, you got to score. You got to get some points up. And up until this point, I think the Vikings had a really good run of the defense. But man, a lot of mistakes on that offensive end today or this week.
Yeah, and I think the turnover battle is definitely costing us some of these games. We're giving them up and not producing them. Steve, I know we had the offensive line mostly intact with the exception of Mr. Kelly, who we discussed a couple weeks ago. How do you think they performed? I know Mason did a decent job of running. He didn't get a lot of opportunities, but how did you think the O-line looked in it's been a while since we've seen a lot of them players out there together.
Yeah, it was rough. The rookie Jackson, coming off that wrist surgery, definitely was rusty. He gave up some pressures, and it wasn't pretty. Brandel had a rough game. Of all the things that he did wrong, that snatch block was the stupid, because everybody that's a technique, like knocking the hands down. He didn't even hold them. All he did was the guy came in top heavy, he knocked the hands down. But but then he's hiking the ball over Carson's head. He's getting just destroyed, and like as good as he looked in over in the UK, he looked equally as bad yesterday. So the pressure up the middle was really what did us. Darius and O'Neal, they're looking good. They did their jobs. But overall, I think, what was it, 22 pressures we gave up in the game. What we have? 7 hits on Wentz, and that doesn't help a guy like him because he gets flighty and starts seeing ghosts and the ball starts flying all over. So I think they really needed to run the ball, and they needed to be running, either behind Darisaw or behind O'Neal, get those big boys out and moving, and get some people out there running, and you've got Josh Oliver. I mean, I don't understand when you're having problems with protection, why are we not going a little more max protect with Oliver out there? And I understand trying to get Hawkinson the ball more, but yeah, the interior of the offensive line, Brandel was brutal, and Jackson looked rusty coming back for as good as he's been the first couple of weeks. Where he was getting praise from national media people and during the games about how well he was doing next to Darisaw, but coming back off that wrist surgery, he definitely looks rusty. But yeah, it wasn't good. That was a big problem for Wentz. He can't, and we just got too many injuries in key places to be able to make up for that, right? When you don't have um, enough confidence in your offensive line to rush the ball, like Gary said, in the red zone, like 6 trips and you get one tutty out of it, and that was a trick direct snap. Like, what is going on in with KOC and some of these decisions? Not to stray from the point, but why are we, like Cam Akers has got to, do a fake pass, do the pass, and we got these weird trick plays to score. I mean, what the rushing touch, the outside of JJ McCarthy, I mean, like who's really doing stuff? So the offensive line was not pretty on the interior, which is what we went out and got, two of the top free agent interior linemen, and it didn't pan out that way. So I don't know. It's going to be rough for a while, I think.
I mean, that was the 15th line combination. I mean, that tells you a lot right there. That's what we're dealing with already.
Yeah.
For week 7, game 6. I mean, that's it's crazy.
Tough to overcome. B Naughty, we know you're the B flow guy of the group. Close personal friend, as Sid Hartman would say.
Yeah, absolutely. We went out to lunch on Monday.
Yes.
We had some bats.
Yes. All right. You taking me to Russo's?
No, we went to Khan's Mongolian barbecue. He wanted
Okay,
some.
there you go. There you go. Not a bad choice. I know we've beaten up on B-Flow's run defense. Obviously, they bottle up Saquon, but let's be honest, everybody seems to have done that so far this year. What did you think of B-Flow's run defense in this one? Obviously, Jalen Hurts shredded them up, but any improvement from an area that's been of concern all year?
I thought I saw just Kevin Cash back. I mean, that's huge. And then as we talked earlier, Ivan the Terrible, not one starting defensive snap. They seem to have a little bit more like it with Eric Wilson from Lizzo fame. They almost kind of had a stop to that tush push. I even see on social media, B-Flow is totally something. They got a first down and offsides on that. I like how it's been the last 2 weeks. To be honest with you, what it does without having the gink there, I think the gink is like the secret ingredient that he filters in on that. And Dallas Turner looking like a possible bust, and it's just you don't see him. Sure, he made a couple plays, but you don't really see him anymore. The one thing that he was so focused on the running game. Like our cornerbacks, AJ Brown is 6-7 inches taller than our 2 starting cornerbacks, and the one cornerback we have that is big is Okuda at 6'1". 100% completion rate to balls thrown at him. I mean, whatever happened to that guy coming as the 3rd overall pick out of OSU is weird. It's just, we got to get the band back together. We got to get the gink back in there. I like how he is shuffling around that defensive line. Our 2 prize free agents, Hargrave and the dude from Washington. If you really slow it down, those guys are getting doubled every time. And it's just linebackers got to make a play. And as Gary says, the middle of the field is always open. It seems like he's in this position where he is choosing his poison and just hoping to guess right. And hey, let's keep playing on to Thursday.
All right. All right. I want to close the Eagles game out and look forward to Thursday night in a couple of nights, just to hopefully get that bad taste out of our mouths. So, Steve, I'm going to defer to you next to see if you can, because all we've talked is negativity for the most part. Steve, do you have, obviously tradition wise, you have to do a bad MF of a game. had a couple of candidates, so I'll let you take over and let us know whose performance you were impressed with. And I know it's a very limited amount of players.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, because we kept shooting ourselves in the foot. I mean, this really, out of 6 red zone trips, we should have had at least 3 touchdowns, and this shouldn't have even been a thing, right? We should have been like, well, there's mistakes to clean up, and we weren't happy about this or that, but we got the win. But no, when we're coming in and shooting ourselves like that, it's really tough. But I mean, Addison over 100 yards receiving, he had a good game. Uh, Jay Jetta is always, always is being him. He had that one drop, but we talk about it because it's so rare that he has, drops or issues. But yeah, overall, I'm looking at Will the Thrill Reichert. I mean, he's 16 of our 22 points. That he saved Brandel's butt when he snapped it 20 yards over Carson's head, and then he had to go out and just calmly drills a 59-yarder, which is so he's got a bit of a record for I think most 50-yarders or something. There was something like that came out, but yeah, Will Reichert, he's got his own fan base, a dedicated online social media fan base. I just love this guy. My son checks it out, and it's just hilarious some of the stuff they post. But good for this kid. He's cool, calm, steady. It's kind of a weird thing that we have a tricky season, and the one thing we are not concerned about as Vikings fans is the kicker, right? How rare is that we actually have a kicker that we're not concerned about, right? Like we're not worried about, we don't hold our breath on the extra points, or we're like, oh man, let's see if he can hit a 65-yarder this game, because he's automatic for the most part. So not to jinx anything, knocking on wood on the desk, but yeah, Will Reichert definitely gets the bad MFer because he accounted for 3/4 of our points.
Yeah, yeah. I remember we had a kicker that we got rid of very quickly who performed ill. I believe his name was Carlson, and Mr. Zimmer got rid of him in his rookie season after what, like 2 or 3 games. So, yes, I don't know what it is with kickers in the Vikings, but we seem to have a good one here and Will the Thrill. All right, Gary, what in the hell do the Vikings have to do to win Thursday? I see they're 3.5 point dogs going against a 4-3 Chargers team that's looked okay this year. I mean, kind of similar to us, but with a winning record, no bye yet. What do the Vikings need to do? What needs to change on Thursday for them to come out victorious?
Run the ball. Run the ball is everything. It's clock control. It gets the defense coming up, putting 7 guys in the box, opens up the down the field stuff. You can utilize your tight end more. I mean, running the ball is a cure for a lot of issues. And to be honest, linemen love to run the ball. They get out, they get to push, they get to go. So pass blocking's tough. And when you're getting blitzed and it's one-on-one work, you got to run the ball. I mean, I want to see more run plays. I want to see more runs starting out. I just these drives they just look like they're so stagnant until we have to get a 3rd and 8, a 3rd and 9. It's like we put so much pressure on those wide receivers. I want to see him run the damn ball. I want to see him do it effectively. That's what I think an offense has to happen.
Okay, valid points. All right, B Naughty, we're going to close with you, and you are the lucky recipient of the unofficial Man Cave Sports prediction for Thursday's score.
Well, first off, I got to say, I am so impressed with my esteemed colleague, Mr. Steve, his badass MFer of the game. It was a kicker, and he didn't put in a soccer reference. And you know what? I applaud you, Mr. Steve. My prediction for this game, I'm looking at a low score game. I think the spread right now, what is it, Gary?
I don't offhand. I don't remember.
3.5.
3.5.
The over under. What is that again?
All right,
If it's over 47, I'll kiss someone's ass in daylight.
Right.
I'll tell you right now. I just had it up too. 44.5.
That is something. I think the reason I know that KOC is doing this soft benching with JJ McCarthy. Obviously, Steve's guy, Queasy, I mean, his drafting has been just putrid. Everything counts on it. I think that JJ's probably been ready to go the last two weeks. and he's not going to have him start on 4 days rest against Harbaugh. And if anybody knows JJ McCarthy and how to disrupt him, it's Jimmy Harbaugh. So I think they're going to soft bench him. They're soft benching him one more 4 days, and they don't want to give the Lions any. The Lions are in bye. They don't want to give them any film on him. It's at SoFi. You were talking about negativity earlier, Michael. You know who the bringer of positivity is? Be naughty. Vikings 24, Chargers 21. I mean, I should probably take odd numbers because it's all going to be field goals, but I'm gonna be positive. We're scoring touchdowns this week.
Steve, any rebuttal? Or are you frozen?
I'm just I got lost somewhere. Was there a turn or did we get off an off ramp or something? What the hell? Herbert's got 1,900 yards passing, and we just got smoked by Jalen Hurts. Okay, if we don't develop a pass rush from your buddy B-Flow, this is going to be another really long game. And like I said earlier in the season, how we weren't going to see JJ McCarthy till after the bye, they're holding him out for a good long time. I don't think Carson Wentz is going to go into LA and do much better than he has before. If we don't have a better defensive performance, then Herbert's going to light us up. That kid can throw. Harbaugh, he's been coaching long enough to know how to, B-Flow doesn't scare Harbaugh. I don't care. And not many people are afraid of B-Flow's defense right now because he ain't got a pass rush. Say whatever you want about whoever you want. I don't care. They ain't getting home. And the middle of the field is looking like garbage. You leave that open for Justin Herbert, and we'll be lucky. We'll be lucky if they don't hang 35 on us. So, I don't know. 1,900 yards passing already this season, 13 touchdowns already. He's got a 2-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. We better buckle up. This could be a very long game on a very short week in which we just made Jalen Hurts and the Eagles look like, Don Coryell was coaching them back in the day. So, hopefully we don't get that.
Ye of little faith. What happened to the positivity, Mr. Steve?
Last 2 games, Keenan Allen scored a touchdown against the Vikings. Just so you know, last 2 times he's played them, we're playing them again.
Oh, good God. Well, we'll have plenty of material one way or another. That's for damn sure. So, all right.
Don't get no easier.
Yeah. Well, that concludes this week's edition of Vikings Weekly. Short week. My assumption is we'll still do this same night next week. Might need, depending upon how the game goes Thursday night, you might need those extra days. So let's cross our fingers and wish for the best, and we'll see what happens on Thursday night. Appreciate you, gentlemen. We will be back next week for another edition of Vikings Weekly by Man Cave Sports. Skol Vikings. Appreciate it.